We're here for Tamika and Friends raising money to end cervical cancer.
It's actually the second cancer walk here in New York. Unlike most other cancer organizations, this one's cervical cancer really isn't talked about much, and it's a lot about education and awareness, and Tamika and Friends does that, especially for minority women, Latinos and African American women who really don't have access to quality health care.
There was something in me that kept tugging at me. At the time, I couldn't really find anything where survivors could come together in a setting that was warm and compassionate and not dreary and dreadful and, oh, just kill me now.
Support for women going through this is huge, given the fact that it is contracted through an STD. There's a stigma. There has been a stigma. We're hoping to do away with the stigma, and the more support we have from people that love us and understand what we're going through is what gives us the will to survive.
I came from Chicago, baby. I'm from Chicago. Absolutely.
Just moral support, is a big thing. Make a big difference.
I think Tamika and this organization is such an inspiration, and all of you can tell your friends and your family members the message. It's about taking care of yourself, getting tested, getting the HPV vaccine.
My body aches, my hands shake, and still I'm not sure how much more I can take. This disease has attacked my credit score, my immune system, and whatever peace of mind I had left. I've met with so many doctors in my life. I now have my PhD in HPV. You see, cancer has depleted, educated, and altered me. My state of being is now foreseeing that many Americans will be attacked by the very same thing that tried to crucify me. You have cervical cancer. My ears rang to the sound of the words that were uttered to me. Maybe he had it wrong. My pap smear tests were always on time. I was in my prime, and how does someone my age get cancer? Isn't that something that older women get? I didn't know it yet, but I was about to have the biggest eye-opener I ever had. I knew none of the facts and how this thing was going to attack me. In reality, this was my body and my life, and no disease was going to take me. You see, that was 13 years ago, and I stand before you today perfectly cancer-free. It took many years to heal from my emotional scars of hearing that cancer had entered my life and was not prepared to leave. The storm had came before the rain, and I was stuck with no protection. The misconception was that I had done something wrong to get cancer. Actually, I had. I was not armored with any information about HPV, how I got it, and what it could do to me. I categorically did something wrong and needed to change it. I needed to heal myself with enough knowledge about the disease that is roughly affecting 5.5 million persons each year and share it. And there I was, battling the one thing that is responsible for more than 4,100 deaths each year. I remember when I heard the words that disturbed and shook my soul. Even the terms took their toll. There were words like stage 1 cancer, squamous cells, carcinoma, lead procedure, dysplasia, and cone biopsy. All these words would soon define me. Truth is, millions of women die from cervical cancer as a result of HPV. The fact that cancer knows no boundaries should worry you. It worries me. Thanks to Merck, we now have Gardasil, but we have to have the will to fight against the ignorance of not knowing enough about the disease. It would please me tremendously to have every woman protected and equipped with enough information so that they won't have to go hysterectomies, and so their daughters won't have to fight the disease, and so we'll have a healthy society without the ugly face of HPV. Get tested, be HPV and cervical cancer free. I am.
Isn't she amazing?
Walk in New York. We've done some in Washington, D.C. as well. And another initiative that we're starting are chapters in your cities, which information for that is available on our website.
I am a cervical cancer survivor. A month before my 27th birthday, we found out that I had stage 1B1 cervical cancer. So I researched and I found another doctor and I really asked tough questions and I tried to make sure they saw me as not just a cancer patient, but a young woman fighting for her dreams and her life after cancer. So last year at this walk, I announced that while we were here walking, my husband was back home with our surrogate implanting our embryos. Well, shortly after the walk, she miscarried. But don't get sad yet. I had one egg left. And that egg is currently growing inside of a surrogate. She's almost 32 weeks pregnant. So it's truly a miracle and a dream come true.
The call to action is that we need to do something, that this is completely preventable. We know that cervical cancer is caused by HPV. HPV is incredibly common. As you just heard, 8 out of 10 women will get HPV. Most women have an infection with HPV and fight it off, but in some women a chronic infection puts them at risk for cervical cancer. And so we're lucky today that we have one vaccine that's already on the market. We have another vaccine that just got approved, and so that vaccine is incredibly powerful because we can prevent women and young girls from getting HPV in the first place. This is preventable, and we need to spread the word to our mothers, our sisters, our grandmothers especially. I see a lot of young women here today, but the fact is that we see many women who are our grandmothers' ages, our mothers' ages, who are getting cervical cancer and dying from cervical cancer. So the takeaway here is go tell it, and really go tell everybody that cervical cancer is preventable and no woman should have to die. So thank you.